You are now entering Armbar Audio.
Hello, and welcome back to Armbar Audio. This is episode 7, where we at Armbar Audio evolve. I'm your host, Tim Farley, and next to me is my trusted companion,
John Kearns. What's up, everybody?
Well, a lot of things are up. A lot of things are down. How about you, John?
I'm doing all right. Evolve 108 and 109 were both really good. We're going to get into those on this show. And we got the G1 report. We got all-in stuff. Mae Young Classic stuff. It's all going to be good.
It surely will be. Our first piece of news is about the Mae Young Classic. WWE has announced that the 2018 Mae Young Classic will premiere on Wednesday, September 5th at 9 p.m. Eastern after WWE NXT goes off the air. The 32-woman tournament will continue each Wednesday night until 2 competitors remain. The finals will then take place on Sunday, October 28th, at the first ever all-women's Evolution pay-per-view. WWE has also confirmed the NYC announce team for this year. Michael Cole will be leading Renee Young and WWE Hall of Famer Beth Phoenix. It was also announced that the NYC Bracketology special will air on Wednesday, August 29th, hosted by Beth Phoenix and Mauro Ranallo.
All right.
This year's Mae Young Classic has 32 females, and we're going to list them right now. Caitlyn, a.k.a. Celeste Bonin. Io Shirai. Tegan Knox. Casey Catanzaro. Toni Storm. Ginny. Ashley Rain, also known as Madison Rain. Kavita Devi, Miko Satomura, Rhea Ripley, Deonna Purrazzo, Rena Gonzalez, Lacey Lane, Jessica Alaban, Nicole Matthews, MJ Jenkins, Karen Q, Zatara, Mia Yim, Mercedes Martinez, Allison Kay, Hiroyo Matsumoto, Zia Lee, Zeusis, Isla Dawn, Ariel Monroe, Rachel Evers, Priscilla Kelly, Killer Kelly, Vanessa Craven, Zaya Brookside, and Tainara Conchi. Our next piece of news regards the updates for All In.
Yeah.
All In is being said to be the tagline is the biggest independent wrestling event ever.
It's already shaping up that way.
Yes. It'll air. It's actually going to air on September 1st, 2018. Traditional pay-per-view outlets, Fight TV, and Honor Club streaming service will be hosting it. The event will include 0 Hour, an hour-long pre-show airing on WGN America, as WGN America is based out of Chicago. The event, while independently produced, will feature wrestlers from Ring of Honor, Impact, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Lucha Libre, AAA Worldwide, and the National Wrestling Alliance.
Mm-hmm.
So far, the matches that have been confirmed are NWA World Heavyweight Championship between the challenger Cody Rhodes with Brandy Rhodes against Nick Aldis, who is the champion.
I absolutely can't wait for that one.
We have Kazuchika Okada versus Marty Scurll.
Marty Scurll's trying to beef up, get that heavyweight body.
Joey Janela with his girlfriend Penelope Ford against Hangman Adam Page.
I feel like they should have made him fight Tama Tonga so they could figure out who the real bad boy is.
That's a good one. There's going to be a 6-man tag team match with Rey Mysterio, Phoenix, and Bandito versus the Golden Elite of Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, and Kota Ibushi. That one's going to be nuts. We get a singles match. If you follow Being the Elite, you'll understand this. Christopher Daniels versus Arrow's Stephen Amell. Christopher Daniels on Being the Elite has blamed Stephen Amell for killing Joey Ryan.
Well, no, he knows they didn't do it, but he tried to frame him for it.
Oh yeah. And then he got pissed that he was on All In.
Yeah.
And he's like, this guy's trying to take everything. Real funny. We get a tag team match with the Briscoe brothers against SoCal Uncensored of Kazarian and Scorpio Sky.
I see you.
Madison Rayne versus Britt Baker versus Chelsea Green versus Tessa Blanchard.
That's a damn good women's wrestling match.
On the pre-show, there's going to be a 15-person battle royal.
What's it called?
It's called Over Budget Battle Royal.
I love that name.
And the winner will go on to face Jay Lethal for the ROH World Championship
on the same night
on the main card.
Yep.
I saw All Ego Ethan Page, Colt Cabana, Jordan Grace.
Yeah. There was another one.
There was another one featured, but I don't remember. But I have a feeling Mr. All Out, Flip Gordon, is going to get on this because it's not officially All In.
That's true.
And he's going to win.
And he's hosting that big that big like before the show party and stuff.
The All Out Fest, yeah. And he's going to go on to face Lethal at All In. That's what I think.
It would be interesting, but it would be really cool if Jordan Grace won.
Oh, here we go. The announced participants for the Over Budget Battle Royal are Jordan Grace, Moose,
Moose
Rocky Romero, Colt Cabana, and Ethan Page.
Moose.
Sorry, guys, we have to do that every time we mention him. Our last piece of news comes from Uncle Dave Meltzer.
Uncle Dave?
Yeah. From the latest Wrestling Observer, and I quote, WWE is becoming very aggressive when it comes to taking talent off the board. It's real clear with All In and Madison Square Garden ROH New Japan show that the competition, and there really is no competition, is getting stronger than they'd like. Just the idea that there could be opposition, not only in MSG, but also potentially the potentiality to do big business anywhere is upsetting WWE. Pentagon Jr. and Phoenix have told promoters who they've booked dates for in 2019 that those dates are in question. Shane Strickland is another name that they are looking at and will be coming in for a future look. As we know, they did a complete 180 on Matt Riddle, and this is supposedly for the same reason. I'm going to go off the news path, and I want to start talking about this because I think this is a major thing.
Yeah, and this will tie into what I want to talk about as well.
I think that if they only signed Matt Riddle because of this, then it's a huge slap in the face to Matt Riddle and wrestling fans all over the world. Because if you've ever seen Matt Riddle, he is amazing in the ring. He has charisma off the charts. I haven't seen a pure baby face like this in a long time. I also think
he's probably the most natural transition from UFC to wrestling that I've ever seen.
Right. I also think that the WWE has so much content with Raw, which is getting better, but still kind of SmackDown, which is only 2 hours. NXT and 205 Live, which are on the network. And Main Event, which no one watches, that's on Hulu.
I can't remember the last time I watched Main Event.
Right. And if you keep taking all this talent off the independent scene, where are you putting these people? Because everybody's getting lost in the shuffle. Someone like Mike Bennett, okay? I'm not a huge Mike Bennett fan, but he made a name in ROH. He made a name in Impact Wrestling. He had a good gimmick in Impact and ROH. And now he's back from an injury or whatever. And he is on Main Event with Zack Ryder.
Yeah.
You're getting all these guys on NXT.
I'll tell you what.
But what happens when those guys go up to the main roster? Because you got guys like Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, Seth Rollins, well, anybody from the Shield really, Braun Strowman. You got all these guys who aren't gonna go anywhere in a few years. They're mainstay names. So what does the WWE plan to do with these performers, these artists?
If you didn't know any better, you'd think that Raw had 5 wrestlers.
Right. With the way they treat the damn show.
How many pay-per-views are we going to get Finn Balor versus Baron Corbin on? It's happening again at SummerSlam.
Right.
And
there's two guys right there. They don't know what to do with. Who deserve better. It's ridiculous.
Right.
And Drew McIntyre, I mean, thank God they put him in a good position. But where is it going to end up? It's just like you have so much talent. You need to put... There needs to be, like, maybe they put NXT on, like, one of the Fox affiliate things, like Fox Sports or something like that, and then rename the developmental territory as, like, Wrestling at Full Sail or WWE at Full Sail University or something.
Yeah.
Because
NXT needs to be extended to 2 hours, and they need to keep people there longer.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, if you're going to be taking all of these indie names all of the time, like, periodically, you need to have that third show. And it needs to be on television. Not just for the network people. You know what I mean? Because these guys, a lot of the people that they're bringing in, all they really need to learn is where the hard cam is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And how to pause for commercials.
Right.
Like,
because they're signing huge names. I mean, look at Keith Lee. Like, this week we saw Keith Lee debut against Marcel Bartel. Marcel Bartel, a.k.a. Axel Dieter Jr., has been signed for like a year, but he's been at the Performance Center. But, obviously, with Keith Lee's experience with Ring of Honor, with their television and everything, and his name in America, he didn't spend any time at the Performance Center. He got shot right to TV. So, like, that's what's going to happen when they get these other guys. So, you know, it's just ridiculous. It's like Cassius Ohno, you know. He comes back, it's great, and now he's just filling the Andrade Cien Almas old role of gatekeeper. And this past week, saying NXT kind of took him away from that, which is good, and we'll get into that when we review NXT.
Right.
But it's just like there's too much within WWE. What are you afraid of? Competition is good. And when WWE was at its most lucrative, when WWE was hot with everybody, not just wrestling fans,
I'll tell you what,
was when there was competition between WCW and WWE.
Yes.
So if the indies are making or selling out this place and selling out that place and having all this view on it, that should make you want to do better with the things you have, instead of saying, oh, guess what, we have all this money, we'll just buy it all out, like like Vince did when the territory system died. No. We need competition. We need other outlets. Because WWE, no matter what it is, I mean, NXT wrestlers get to keep some of their stuff, but whenever they go to the main roster, they get watered down. A lot of things get watered down in WWE. It's all about becoming a superstar. Well, independent wrestling isn't about that. It's about honing your craft. It's about putting on a good show. It's about being an artist. And I don't know if all these guys are going to sign or, it's not just the WWE's choice. It's the guy's choice.
Right.
I mean, as we've seen, with Sting, he held out for how long?
Right.
I just think it's preposterous, and it's actually they're doing something that's hurting them.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
They're going to end up souring the WWE name on a lot of potential signees' minds. These kids are going to think, oh, well, if I go there, they're going to treat me like they treated the Ascension. Or they're going to treat me like they treat Finn Balor. Or oh, I'm going to go there and have a hot streak for a week and then end up jobbing a Roman Reigns for years.
Right.
It's like, it becomes less about the wrestling and more about merchandise sales.
Yeah, it's definitely less about the wrestling. It's more about merchandise sales. It's about who...
You take a company like New Japan Pro Wrestling that sells a lot of merchandise, but the merchandise sales are a bonus to them because the in-ring work and the superstars and the charisma, it's all there.
Right. And I mean, WWE does have good wrestlers. They do have good charisma. It's just oversaturated.
Yeah.
Like a guy like Seth Rollins on Raw should be the main title holder at some point. But he's got Braun Strowman in his way, he's got Roman Reigns in his way, he's got Brock Lesnar at this time in his way, and he's not going to get there. That's why he's been in this Intercontinental title feud. Yeah. It's like Triple H is like, hey, we put you on the video game last year. We obviously love you. Here's a title, make it good. Because,
and he did.
Because up here, it can't be broken right now. And that's why Finn Balor is wrestling Corbin. That's why, I say it a lot. These guys need to be traded to SmackDown because that's where they'll get the opportunity. Because SmackDown has always been the B show, where back whenever the SmackDown 6 was around, you got Eddie Guerrero, you had Chris Benoit become champions, Edge got over there, you had a lot of guys who, if they would have been on Raw, would have floundered and may have never gotten to where they got to, but they had the opportunity at SmackDown. And it still feels that way.
Yeah. Because
AJ's leading SmackDown. He's wrestling guys like Samoa Joe. Would we see that on Raw?
Oh, and he's actually defending the title.
Right. But would we see that on Raw?
No.
No. We'd see AJ Styles win the title, wrestle a big name, big guy for like a month, and then lose the title.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. And they have one of the best talents on Raw in wrestling, period, on the mic, in the ring, everywhere, Kevin Owens, and he's been reduced to the same type of thing with Seth Rollins. Hey, we know you're special. We're going to give you this story. We want you to get it over, but you can't break this ceiling right now because we have so much, it always seems like the more Triple H has tried to evolve the product, there's still that mentality that so many people have talked about that WWE is the land of the giants, and Vince loves big, oily muscles. I mean, just look at their main event on Raw. You know what I mean? But it's just ridiculous.
And there's nothing wrong with Braun Strowman. There's nothing wrong with Roman Reigns. There's nothing... The argument could be made that there's nothing really wrong with Brock Lesnar.
Right.
It's just...
dominating the scene.
And it's just the same shit.
Exactly. It's dominating the scene.
Yeah.
Let there be... Like with AJ Styles, he's defending that title against multiple people. I mean, every pay-per-view, it's a different person.
Yes.
Let that happen with the Universal title. Why do I have to watch 5 months of the same garbage? Now, I'm not saying it's garbage now. Ever since Paul Heyman took over writing for the Lesnar-Roman Reigns stuff, that has been great. And Lesnar has become the most hated man in wrestling aside from Tommaso Ciampa, and it's awesome. It's really good. But, like, I'm just saying, like...
They're finally letting Lesnar be a real heel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess the argument could be stated that last year he wrestled against Joe, he wrestled against Strowman, but it was the same. It was the same thing. It wasn't like
even though
a competitive match.
Even though it was all different people,
you knew what was going to happen.
It was the same match.
Yeah, and you knew what was going to happen.
And it was the same storyline. It was Brock Lesnar being made a bitch and being made a fool of for months, and then dropping the guy with one F5 at the pay-per-view.
Right. And German suplexes all over. Like, I want to watch that.
Even though Braun Strowman will kick your ass for 4 months, but then you beat him with one F5.
Right.
Or Samoa Joe will choke your bitch ass out for 4 months, and then you drop him with one F5.
Right.
It's like they'll protect his move, but no other move.
Right. Right. The only other protected move
is the fucking Superman punch.
Well, I mean, in all of wrestling is
well, if we're talking about
one-winged angel.
One-winged angel, yeah. If we're talking about protected moves, one-winged angel,
F5.
F5.
That's it.
Could say Black Mass is pretty well protected. He was.
Yeah, no one's ever kicked out of that.
I mean, he took out Lars, goddamn big hoss Lars Sullivan with it.
Right.
You're
fired up, John. I like it.
I am. I guess you could say Last Chancery is pretty well protected. With Austin Aries.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are protected moves, but not as much as the F5. And the F5 is an objectively not well executed move anymore.
Well, you know, you're talking about protected moves and stuff. I got some stuff about that in our Evolve reviews.
Yeah.
But first, let's get to your weekly G1 28 Climax report. Or G1 Climax 28 report.
G1 Climax
Grand 1.
Now, before I get into that, I do want to talk a little bit about this press release that came out from New Japan recently. And it'll tie in a little bit to what we were just talking about.
Do tell.
We were talking about WWE being threatened by the New Japan involvement in Madison Square Garden and just in the States in general. And it would appear that NJPW President Harold May wants to kind of change the perception of New Japan Pro Wrestling overseas. Stuff that flies on Japanese television simply can't fly on American television. That's nature of the beast. So, basically what this is it's saying that New Japan Pro Wrestling, going forward, has banned the use of the middle finger hand gestures and any English-spoken swear words.
Which is really sad, because Juice Robinson Will Ospreay and the Tongans.
They're all going to hurt from this, yeah.
Especially Juice, because he's so funny when he swears.
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll a motherfucker up!
Like when he screams eat shit before he punches somebody. It has a lot to do with his voice in general, too. Eat shit! So basically, this is all stemming from recent actions taken by one Tama Tonga. In a recent edition of G1 tournament action, Tama Tonga took it upon himself to go into the crowd and put his hands on a fan. And that simply cannot happen.
I don't know, man. I think in Japan, the guy was probably marked out.
Well, I would believe that if all this shit hadn't come out after.
I mean, Tama also got into a Twitter feud with some dude about the military.
Yeah,
and
improper social networking service usage was mentioned in a recent thing that came out about possible disciplinary action being taken against Tama Tonga.
Yeah, he was talking to some guy who said that his friend or whatever is in the military, and he actually fights all over the world so that Tama can do what he does. And Tama was like, "You punk ass bitch, look me up. I was in the military during wartime. I served my time. What did your punk ass bitch do?" Or, stuff like that. And then he got banned from Twitter for 24 or 48 hours. Whenever he came back, he blamed it on Roman Reigns. And they had a hilarious Twitter beef. But it all ended with this this choking of the fan. And honestly, Japanese fans are different than American fans, and
they are.
I would expect the Japanese fan to be pumped about it. I mean,
and what I'm saying is, if this expansion into the States market
they can't
wasn't happening, I don't think you would see this happen. But this is Harold May looking at his product and saying, okay, if we want to succeed in the States and in the UK and outside of Japan in general, we need to change the perception of the product.
Right.
We need to, and this is the four-letter word in wrestling, we need to go PG.
Well, I don't think they'll go PG with their in-ring product.
Right.
I think they'll keep it how it is.
Mm.
But, yeah. So, what's going on with the A block and the B block?
And I'll finish this up. And when you watch the post-match commentaries and you see Juice Robinson coming in, motherfucker this, motherfucking that, motherfucking this shit, that shit, it's awesome that he's so fired up, and you love seeing the superstars fired up, but...
And I love it because I don't get it from WWE.
Yeah.
If WWE was still doing that kind of stuff, then it wouldn't mean half as much to me as whenever I saw it on New Japan.
Yeah, that's true. Or if we still saw blood in WWE, it wouldn't mean as much as when you see it on any other show.
Right. Which there was some good blood in this week's G1.
Yeah, and Omega versus Ishii. That was insanity.
I loved that match.
Oh, it was a good match, for sure. So right now, with the A block is pretty much cut and dry right now. The B block, there's still some insane possibilities. With the A block, you got Tanahashi in the lead with, I think, 14. So he's at 14, and Okada and Jay White are both at 12. Now, they only have one more match to go in the A block, and they're the only three that could mathematically win this thing.
We are recording this on August 9th.
Yeah, on August 9th. So there's going to be 2 shows to come up before this gets posted, but we'll talk about that when we talk about the finals.
Yeah, Jay White holds a victory over Okada and Tanahashi.
Yeah.
But Okada and Tanahashi are wrestling each other.
Yeah, basically what needs to happen for Tanahashi to win the block, he needs to either beat Okada or it needs to go to a time limit draw. If it goes to a time limit draw, Tanahashi will be at 15 points and he'll win the block. Because even if Jay White beats Evil, he'll only be at 14. Now, if Okada wins, they will tie at 14 points. And then if Jay White beats Evil, he'll be at 14. So he'll win the block because he holds victories over Tanahashi and Okada. But if Evil beats Jay White and then Okada beats Tanahashi, Okada will win the block.
Right.
Like, it's...
Between the three of them, you don't know yet.
And right at the end of the G1 is where it really starts to get good. Not that it was bad leading up to this, but this is where it gets, I guess you could call it mathematically stressful.
Right.
When people really need to dig down and win their matches. Especially at the top of the block.
Yeah, now in the B block, you got Kenny Omega at 12, Naito at 12. Omega holds a victory over Naito.
Yes.
Ibushi at 10, Sabre at 10, SANADA at 8, Ishii at 8, Goto at 6, Tama at 6, Robinson at 4. Now, it's between Omega, Naito, and Ibushi, right?
Now, what needs to happen here is, and Omega's last match is against Ibushi. If Ibushi beats Omega,
he becomes 12 points.
He's going to be at 12 points. And then if Naito loses, Ibushi will win the block. Now, if Naito wins, he'll be at 14.
And Naito is wrestling Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah, Naito's going against Zack Sabre Jr., which is a tough match. And Jay White versus Evil was a tough match.
Naito lost to Zack Sabre Jr. in the New Japan Cup earlier this year.
So basically, Naito has to win his match and hope that Omega loses.
Which is, I could see, completely possible.
But if Naito loses, then the winner of the block is either going to be Ibushi or Omega.
It's so confusing to try and figure out where they're going to go because Naito's whole story has been he has won G1s, he's won this, he's won that, and he's always promised or given the main event at Wrestle Kingdom, but loses the briefcase along the way.
Right.
Or, last year they brought in Chris Jericho, so the title match was basically like the secondary match. In most people's eyes.
So, and I know
but then you have like the whole idea of the Golden Lovers wrestling each other.
Right.
You have Tanahashi, who people are saying, should possibly lighten his schedule. You got who is taking offense to that and is who hasn't really mixed it up too much with Omega. Okada, of course, has become broken. He started using like balloons, dyed his hair. At the beginning of the tournament, he was on a downward slope, but then he picked himself back up. And then you got Jay White, who's been really great at being a heel. And at the beginning of the tournament, when he beat Tanahashi and when he beat Okada, he said, "This is my New Japan. This is my chaos. This is mine." Blah 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 blah. So, it's really hard to call. Like, I can't say like what I predict because There's so many ways that they can go.
I don't really have any predictions, but I do have some things that I think are possible, or some things that I think would be good for storyline purposes. If you're looking at the A block, I could totally see Okada throwing the match against Tanahashi to fuck over Jay White.
See, you say that, and it makes sense if it was in WWE or in the States. But this is the most prestigious and important tournament, and these are all competitors.
You can say that, but then you can look at what the Tongans are doing on the B block side.
Yeah, but that's the Tongans, man.
Right.
They got their whole other agenda.
Right.
Okada lost that title to Kenny Omega. He wants that title back because he wants to be himself again. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't know. Can he mathematically win?
Okada?
Yeah.
You said he could.
He has to beat.
Jay White has to lose, and he has to beat Tanahashi.
He has to beat Tanahashi and hope that White loses.
Which is possible.
It is. Because Evil's a tough guy.
Evil's a sleeper, man. He's like Michael Elgin and Ishii. You know, and
Ishii holds victories over every champion right now in this G1.
That's wild.
They talked about that.
Ishii is going to get a title shot at King of Pro Wrestling.
Ishii has his pick of the litter as far as I'm concerned.
Right. Some of the week's matches that I watched, I loved SANADA versus Naito.
It was amazing.
I loved the callback to Inoki versus Fujinami, where it was a similar case. I loved how at the beginning they went to do the fist bump, and automatically both guys knew that they were gonna turn on each other.
Right.
I loved how when Naito went to do the Tranquilo pose for the first time, SANADA
grabbed his foot and pulled him out of the ring.
Yeah. At the end of the match, when Naito won, he grabbed the mic, cut a decent promo. All four LIJ members came together. Evil brought out Hiromu's jacket.
Yeah.
Naito wished him a speedy recovery and stuff.
Yeah, he basically said, obviously one of our LIJ brothers is missing. And then he talked a little bit about
He said
Hiromu.
they don't know the timetable of him coming back. I thought that match was great. I thought Ishii versus Omega was great.
Ishii versus Omega is probably the shock of the tournament. I think you could say that.
Yeah, but didn't Omega lose to Yano this week?
Yeah, but it was because of the Tongans.
Yeah. And plus, he's lost to Yano before in G1s.
Yeah.
You know, it's always like this super serious competitor against this other guy, the comedy guy, and somehow the comedy guy wins and gives him this only loss, or in this case, his second loss.
Basically the Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa. Yeah, because basically what happened was during the Kota Ibushi and Tama Tonga match, there was a lot of underhanded stuff, a lot of cheating. Tonga Loa ran out and tried to get involved, but was kicked off of the ring by Ibushi. So then him and Tama kind of went at it a little bit after that. Tonga Loa eventually tried to get involved again. The referee got knocked out, and this led to Bad Luck Fale coming out there, so all three Tongans were out there. Then Omega actually runs out, tries to make the save, and gets laid out by Tonga Loa with a big lariat. So then Tama Tonga hits Kota Ibushi with a gun stun. The Bad Luck Fale throws the referee back in the ring. He counts the 1, 2, 3. Ibushi loses. Tama wins. And then there's just a beatdown. Tama Tonga powerbombed Ibushi, then powerbombed Omega, then Bad Luck Fale powerbombed Omega. The whole time Tonga Loa was putting the boots to him. And it wound up with Omega being slightly hurt right before his match with Yano. And Red Shoes comes out there because he's supposed to ref the Yano match and the Naito match. So he comes out there and he's talking to the Young Lions. He's talking to the ring announcer. They got a doctor out there for Omega. Chase Owens and Hangman Page eventually came out to try to get rid of the Tongans, and it worked, but it worked because the Tongans hightailed it, not because they got beat down at all. Basically, they're asking Kenny if he can go on. I didn't hear Kenny say yes or no, but apparently they did because Red Shoes signaled to the ring announcer and Yano's music hit and he comes out there. Yano goes for a quick pin on the down to Omega. Omega instinctively kicks out. And then it was just a regular match from there. You had Yano pulled like all 4 corner pads off. They were hitting each other with them. The whole thing actually led to a pretty entertaining match with Yano and Omega, surprisingly. Because a lot of work on the outside, a lot of work with the rings, with the corner pads, which Yano is famous for. Omega ended up being taped to one of the Young Lions to anchor him down to try for Yano to try to get a count-out victory. That was foiled because Kenny Omega lifted up the Young Lion and put him in the ring and then got in right at the 19, right before the count of 20, which would have caused Omega to lose right then and there. Now, there's a spot with Yano with Omega going for a German suplex on Yano. Yano actually grabs Red Shoes, so Omega can't lift both of them. Omega is unable to lift both of them and comes around to the other side. He gets positioned behind Red Shoes, and then Yano goes for the low blow, hits Omega, but accidentally also hits Red Shoes. So Red Shoes goes down. This, of course, leads to the Tongans coming back out there. Tama Tonga hits a gunstone on Yano, hits a gunstone on Omega, drags Yano over to the pin on Omega, then throws Red Shoes in. Red Shoes doesn't know what's going on. Counts the 1, 2, 3. Tama Tonga screws Omega, possibly out of winning the G1.
Yeah, that was a good rundown, John.
Yeah.
I thought some other good matches since we last spoke about this was, of course, Naito and SANADA and Ishii and Omega, like I said.
Hangman Page and Suzuki was damn good.
I was just about to say.
Yes.
Page versus Suzuki was awesome, and Page getting the win over the Japanese veteran Suzuki is a feather in the cap.
I'll tell you what, and Rocky Romero said it, and I agree. Possibly the biggest win of Page's career.
No, definitely.
Yeah. It seemed, and Page is one of the guys that we talked about being sort of underrated.
Yeah. He has to get a title somewhere within the next year. Bushi and Naito had a great match. Evil and Okada had a great match.
Right.
You know, Okada and Suzuki had an amazing match. I mean, like, it's so hard to keep up because it's so good. Like, there's no filler to skip through.
Yeah, and when we go over the finals, we are going to have a finalized list of our favorite matches.
Yes, we will. All right, well, getting off the G1 report, we're going to go into Evolve 108 and 109.
Both really good shows.
Yes, very. Now, both of these shows, the first match was also featured on Facebook Live as a way of probably getting people to...
It's smart. It's a smart thing to do.
Get on to WWN and all that stuff. So the first match of Evolve 108 was Anthony Henry against Saif Al-Sabah. My first thought was, I don't know how Sabah wrestles in that many layers of clothing.
Yeah.
It must be super hot. Like, he has a bodysuit on, a protective vest, and he has one of his shirts hanging from his backside.
Yeah.
I'm just like, why? Why are you wearing all those clothes?
He looks like he should be in Assassin's Creed or something.
Yeah.
He's got like this big hooded thing on and everything.
There was a cool part where Sabah countered a guillotine choke to a suplex and kipped up like simultaneously.
Yeah.
There was a nice acai moonsault from Sabah to Henry to the outside. Henry chops Sabah many times. Why? Sabah is wearing a protective vest. Sabah stops the chops with a modified backdrop suplex. Henry was on the apron and countered a slide-out powerbomb with a double stomp. There was some clumsy-looking roll-ups and counter roll-ups. Henry is a striking machine. There was a nice drop kick to Henry to from a flying Sabah. Wish they sold this spot more. It went right into another spot. Sabah wins after dodging a double stomp and quickly hitting a Hidden Colors, which is a whisper in the wind. The 2-year Evolve Henry, 2-year Evolve star Anthony Henry shakes the newcomer's hand in respect. This match was okay. It was fast-paced. That could have been a lot smoother and could have benefited more. Could have benefited from more selling. That's how I felt about this match.
They probably put that on like a real high energy, high speed type matchup for the Facebook Live to give people like, oh wow, this is something I want to watch. I'm going to spend my $9.99 and get this.
Yeah,
but I think you still want to put on a decent match.
Now see, I have thoughts about both of these guys, but it's gonna come when we talk about 109.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'll just say it now. Okay. Anthony Henry wrestled both opening matches, and I thought that Evolve must think really highly of him to put him in those positions to get more viewers to WWN.
Right.
Sabah, in both of his matches of this Evolve weekend, I don't know if it's like nerves or something, but he has a lot of potential. A lot of the stuff he does is really good, but he messes up at really crucial moments. So I think it has to do with nerves or something, man. Like I said, when he pinned Anthony Henry, he almost forgot to lock the leg, and then you could see Henry push his leg up as to remind him.
There was a spot similar to that in SANADA and Naito. Well, not similar like a pinfall, but we're talking about off timing type stuff.
Yeah.
There was one where Naito was doing that corner drop kick that he jumps over and does the drop kick. You could totally see SANADA set up for it.
Yeah.
100%. So, and it's not a bad thing. Like, we clearly, anybody watching wrestling knows that that's what's going on, but you gotta make it look good.
Right. Match 2, we saw Tommy Maserati of the Skulk.
I like him.
Against Perot of the End. Perot squashed this dude. It was like Amazing Red against an Eric Rowan.
Yeah.
Nice heart from Maserati,
funny,
but Perot was too much, ending the match with a sit-out powerbomb. Now this led into the third match, which was Odinson of the End against Josh Briggs, John Davis, and JD Drake in a 4-way match.
I'll tell you what, you were asking me who in Evolve stands out to me right now. Odinson and Josh Briggs. I really like both of those guys.
Yeah. Odinson has quite the physique.
Mm-hmm.
Briggs, as we saw him Beyond and Evolve from before, he's getting better, and he has the potential. I really like John Davis and JD Drake. John Davis looks like he's like a no-nonsense, I'm going to beat the shit out of you guy.
Yeah.
And JD Drake looks like if a scientist took Kevin Owens' genes and Arn Anderson's genes and put them together.
Don't they call him the modern day enforcer?
Probably.
Isn't that?
He used to be just James Drake. Yeah. Whenever he was with Anthony Henry.
James Drake.
But there's a James Drake in progress, so they changed it to JD Drake, which is cool. In this match, I thought Odinson was like super explosive. Everything he did was like just like quick but crisp. Davis chokeslammed Draven off the apron to everyone except Briggs, who was still left in the ring, and followed up that move with a huge like Punishment Martinez-esque leap over the turnbuckle to everyone. Yeah. Draven is the leader of the end with Michael Perot and Odinson. Odinson with a helicopter F5 to JD Drake, which was stunning. Odinson had Briggs and Davis on his back at one point. Davis fell off and hit a German on Odinson, which kind of gave way to a fallaway slam on Briggs. Davis and Briggs suplex each other to the outside. Drake hits a double underhook brainbuster on Odinson for the win. Briggs and Davis brawl all the way to the back. This was a great hoss fight between four guys. There was great spots, and I really enjoyed this one.
Yeah, this was really good. Fatal four-ways as a rule are usually pretty hard to follow, but this one did a pretty good job of really highlighting everybody in the match.
You don't mean hard to follow, hard to put together.
Yeah, hard to put together.
Yeah, I agree. Match 4 was a grudge match with the FIP champion Austin Theory against Darby Allin. This is a grudge match because...
That Austin Theory, he doesn't seem very well liked.
No, he's an amazing heel.
Yeah. Wasn't there...
Darby Allin and...
He was one of the only ones who I recognized. Was there something about him, like something really controversial a couple years ago?
I don't know.
I remembered the name, but I felt like I remembered it in a negative light.
I don't know.
I don't remember what it was.
I have no idea
what
you're saying.
I'll
anyway, Austin Theory and Darby Allin have a feud, like a long grudge, because William Regal came out at one of the Evolve shows and said both of them are potential WWE huge superstars, but they both need to work more. And Austin Theory, since that time, has won the WWN Championship, lost it, got the full Impact Pro one, and Darby Allin has won like key matches and become more of a full professional wrestler as just a spot guy.
Yeah.
This match was really good. It was fast. Like Darby Allin does a lot of like ninja rolls. Like he doesn't like run and walk and stuff like most wrestlers. He's just like always like moving, constant.
Yeah,
motion.
I noticed that.
He hits every rope, like bottom, middle, top.
He did this thing where he was going for a suicide dive, but instead of running the ropes, he did like this crazy like spin thing to gain speed, and then just leapt.
Yeah.
He left his feet like in the middle of the ring and ended up on the outside.
It's wild.
He's insane.
There was Theory. Theory was swinging Allin back and forth into the ring apron like a Cesaro spot.
Right.
Theory with a brutal toss into the second turnbuckle to Darby Allin. Great offensive sequence by Darby, ending with a 2 count off a stun dog millionaire. I love how both are so committed and invested in their character. Allin is the quick, crazy, smart, scrappy underdog, and Theory is a huge prick heel who knows he's the best and shows it in his work. Allen did a crucifix, and after a 1 count, didn't even let him do it 2, turned it into a Fujiwara armbar. He hit a Canadian destroyer for a 2 count. 3 seconds around the world from the top, but Allen kicked out. That move would end anyone else, but Allen never quits, even to his detriment. Allen wins with the Last Supper, which is like a modified sharpshooter, like, and he lays back or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, it's a sharpshooter.
It's like a leg lock pin.
Yeah.
This was a fucking awesome match. I'm continually impressed every time I see both of these guys.
Right.
Match 5 was a non-title match. AR Fox versus Joey Janela, who is the WWN champion. As I was watching, this was the match of the night so far.
Yeah.
AR Fox is severely underrated. He is so unorthodox and innovative with rope work and defense to offense. Janela hit a stunner, and Fox sold it more hilarious than The Rock. Fox won with a Spider German and a Fox catcher. After the match, Theory attacks Janela as he was the former WWN champion, and Fox tries to talk sense to Theory, but Janela attacks both and leaves them laying. Janela puts over being in the ECW arena. The next match was the Evolve Tag Team title match. Dickinson and Jaka versus TK Cooper of Progress Wrestling and Tracy Williams. This was a really good tag match. Doom Patrol works so well together. It's like insane. They're almost a year into their title reign. They won with a roll-up. TK Cooper had a lot of hot offense. Williams, of course, was the focus of Catch Point's attack, cornering and double-teaming him throughout the match. Despite great comeback efforts, a ragtag tag team versus Doom Patrol didn't cut it. Tracy puts Stokely Hathaway down before Doom Patrol can get to him. It was a nice lead-up, continuing the feud between Tracy Williams and his former Catch Point stablemates. Then we got the match of the night, the main event. Hardcore Rules match for the Evolve Championship. King of Bros, Matt Riddle, defending against Shane Swerve Strickland. These two have fought 2 times before with no winner.
Yeah.
We covered one of those matches, I believe, in our first episode of Armbar Audio. This was absolute insanity.
Yeah, man, and there's no better place to have a hardcore match than the ECW arena.
Yeah. Shane Strickland's whole thing is like he's mad at Evolve because they passed on him a while ago, and he's back. He's here to take over and make everybody look bad and make Evolve regret that they didn't sign him earlier.
Yeah.
Riddle took control early on with slaps, a big knee, an exploder, a German, kicks on Shane sitting on the apron. I mean, he had it. It was like, wow, he's really in control. Shane turned it around by hitting Riddle with a chair. He set Riddle on a chair and hit a running knee. Shane grabbed Riddle's face, looks in the camera, and tells Riddle to tell everyone he's better. I was like, wow, that's pretty badass. Swerve sets Riddle on a chair in front of his family and runs from the back and hits a double stomp. Swerve tried to break Riddle's left hand and fingers with this submission constantly, and then he would go and start working the digits, you know. Riddle tackled Shane into the corner and slapped him multiple times. Shane moves from the bro to sleep, but Riddle locks a choke. Shane tried to work the arm, but Riddle traps Shane's arm. Shane stands and launches him into the corner. As I was watching this, I was writing everything down because I was so engrossed in it. I felt like everything mattered. The match ended. It was insane. Okay, so you got Strickland set up a table next to a ladder, and he goes to do a swerve stomp off the ladder through the table.
Yeah.
Matt Riddle gets off the table, meets him up there. Swerve takes the left hand of Riddle and slaps it off the side of the ladder, and then Swerve stomps him off the ladder through the table. Does not get the win.
Huh.
He hits, and this was after like 2 or 3 consecutive Swerve stomps. Shane ended up taking off his knee pad and hitting 2 knee strikes to Riddle, but Riddle jumps up with like fighting spirit and puts Shane in the corner, but Shane hits a JML driver for the win. This was an amazing match. It was insane. Like, insane. What did you think about this match?
Like you said, it was insane. It was everything you want out of a hardcore match. The tables, the chairs, the down and dirty fighting. Matt Riddle came out of the gates like a house of fire, beating the hell out of Shane Strickland right at the very start of the match. And however, Shane eventually picked up the win and is your new Evolve champion.
Yeah. I'd give this show a solid B.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So, Evolve 109.
Yeah.
First match was John Davis versus Anthony Henry. Henry targeted John Davis's leg throughout, kicking it and doing dragon screws. He even did like the Tanahashi like dragon screw through the ropes. There was a nice spot where Davis jackhammered Henry from the outside of the ring to inside. Davis loses when going for 3 seconds around the world, and Henry slides down and jackknife pins him. After the match, Henry looks for a handshake, but Davis lariats him out of his boots and says, "You may have won the match, but not the fight." This was an okay opener. Would have liked more time for Davis to showcase his talent more.
What was interesting was that the first 2 matches of this one were shown on the Facebook on the Facebook Live.
Oh, both of them?
Yeah, and the one ringing up, the one commentator sounds like Josh Matthews. It's funny.
Yeah, the lead guy.
Yeah, he sounds like a bassier Josh Matthews.
Yeah.
But it was him who said that there was some sort of power outage that prevented a lot of people from seeing that match, so they put on the second one as well.
Which was supposed to be Saeed Al-Sabah against Shane Strickland.
But what happened?
Shane comes out in casual clothes, grabs the mic, and says the match he had with Riddle was a classic. He swerve stomped the soul out of Riddle, but also caused irreparable damage to himself. The crowd boos. He tells Sabah he looks forward to beating him on another day. Says he was in Sabah's position for 4 years ago. To this, the Skulk comes out. Shane says to cut their music. AR Fox says he hears a lot of excuses. Says this is everyone's house, not Swerve's house. He's the hardest worker in the business, and tells Sabah if he wants a match, he will step up. So we get Saeed Al-Sabah against AR Fox. Sabah gets denied a handshake. Fox wins with a power bomb. haluva kick, and low main pain all in succession. At one point, the Skulk paraded AR Fox's prone body until Sabah hit an ugly tope corkscrew plancha, catching his foot but still hitting the move. Sabah parties with the Skulk for a bit and leaves. Out come the end of Draven, Pero, and Odinson. Pero with a huge choke slam to Fox. Fox goes for a splash to Pero, but Pero launches him over the turnbuckle onto everybody. Pero goes up to jump off, I guess, to everyone else. But Leon Ruff tries to powerbomb him, but Pero pulls him up. This is when Adrian Alanis and AR Fox powerbomb Pero down. This leads into a Lucha Rules trios match of the End versus Alanis, Leon Ruff, and AR Fox. So AR Fox is working 2 successive matches here. With trios Lucha Roll matches, I can't tell you everything that happened. There was a lot of action and chaos. Fox hit Draven with a 450 after Alanis laid Draven out with an Uranagi backbreaker to secure the win. This was, everything you would want out of a match like this. If I said trios, Lucha Rules, and gave you these guys, you'd be like, damn, that's good. Match 4 was JD Drake against the hired gun Dominic Guarini with Stokely Hathaway. This was a really good competitive match. Guarini's MMA submissions couldn't keep the ring-savvy Drake from escaping via rope, bombs, etc. The finish comes when JD Drake reverses a guillotine choke to a double underhook twisting DDT brainbuster called the drill bit, I believe.
Yeah.
It was just really good back and forth. Every time Guarini tried his submissions, Drake knew where he was in the ring to get to the rope or something like that.
Yeah, the ring psychology on that JD Drake is damn good.
Right.
He's amazing. And it's exactly what you want. You want those 2 combative styles, and you can have a great match with somebody that wrestles your style as well, but you can have a fantastic match with somebody that doesn't.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Match 5 was the Savage Jaka versus Josh Briggs. Hathaway sends Guarini away. Doom Patrol come out. Hathaway wants Jaka to exact revenge on Briggs for ruining their attack on Williams at a previous Evolve show. Briggs comes out and Jaka attacks, punching and sending him into a corner. Jaka beats on Briggs for a while, hitting a nice fall-away Northern Light suplex. Momentum shifts for a bit until Briggs misses the big I don't like you kick and gets caught on top of the rope, to which Jaka kicks him to the outside. Jaka goes out, beats on him, and says, I don't like you either. Jaka had some hit an awesome Hurricane Rana into a cross arm breaker. There was a huge jumping lariat from Josh Briggs. The I don't like you boot, side slam that only led to a 2 count. Jaka is so unorthodox with his strikes and moveset. It's hard to even tell you what's going to come next from him.
Right.
Briggs looks for a superplex, but Jaka headbutts him off and hits a huge crossbody into another cross arm breaker, but Briggs bombs out of it. Nice finishing sequence of both offense, but Briggs hits the M5 for the win. Dickinson attacks Briggs and gets Hathaway to take some shots, and then Tracy Williams comes into the ring. This leads to the no-holds-barred match between Tracy Williams and the Dirty Daddy, the Filthy Father, Chris Dickinson.
Yep.
This was vicious, violent. This feud is insane. near the end, Stokely Hathaway had a screwdriver, put it into Tracy's eye.
Yeah.
There was a Pazuzu bomb to a table, a pile driver to a table that was set on the top rope by Dickinson. Williams got to pile drive Dickinson through a table at one point, but Dickinson ended up winning with a crossface. And as the crossface wasn't getting the job done, Hathaway comes in and starts putting the screwdriver into Tracy's eye to make him tap. They go to beat up on Williams again and use the screwdriver, but Briggs stops them. At Evolve 111, it will be a handicap I Quit match, career versus career. Stokely Hathaway's career against Tracy Williams' career, but the handicap is Stokely Hathaway and Chris Dickinson against Tracy Williams. If you don't know Evolve well, Catch Point was started by Drew Gulak. It was based on competition and pure wrestling ability. Matt Riddle was in it. Doom Patrol, obviously. Tracy Williams. Drew Gulak left for the WWE, and storyline says that Stokely Hathaway, who is an evil manager, bought Catch Point. Tracy Williams didn't like this, as the philosophy of Catch Point changed over time, and Tracy has been fighting for the original philosophy of Catch Point, to which Stokely Hathaway's money has brought in Dominic Guarini and changed the minds of Jaka and Dickinson. So, there you go. Match 7 was Austin Theory against Matt Riddle. Riddle gets a win after losing the night prior by unleashing hell on Theory via knees and elbows. The ref had to stop the match. Riddle is beloved. I thought Theory should have worked the injured wrist more. There was too many false finishes, not just in this match, but I think all over Evolve. You know, false finishes are okay in a high-stake match, but like if it's a mid-card match or an undercard match, you don't have to have, like we were talking about earlier in the when we were talking about protective finishers.
Yeah.
This is what I wanted to get into. Like, this, like, indie wrestling as a whole, and, like, Evolve is a big name. They work with WWE. I feel like at that level, and, like, Ring of Honor, I would say, like, you don't need to have all those false finishes in every match. Have them in the like, all the false finishes during Riddle and Swerve was great because that match meant a lot and there was a lot going on.
Right.
But if you're doing it throughout the evening, it's just like, what does it matter? What does that move matter? What does anything matter? You know? I was glad this wasn't too long of a match because Riddle needed a quick beat down match, you know?
Yeah.
Then we get the main event, Darby Allin versus Joey Janela with Penelope Ford for the WWN Championship. I think that Janela in Evolve is great for both parties. Janela gets more exposure and gets to wrestle with good wrestlers regularly, as he would may or may not so in other places. And Evolve gets a star. Janela's presence in Evolve brings Evolve's stock up. He feels like a real star already. I also thought if WWE ever signs Darby Allin, I could see him being like Rey Mysterio and Daniel Bryan.
Right.
He's great despite his size. He's unorthodox and is perfect for that role. Allin hit a huge coffin drop to the outside. Janela hit an air raid crash on the apron and a Death Valley driver on the apron, but couldn't keep Allin down. Janela ultimately wins with a superplex and then a double stomp off the top to secure his WWN Championship. What did you think about that match, Sean?
That was really good. Every time I see Joey Janela, I like him a little bit more.
I agree.
Every time I see Darby Allin, I like him a little bit more.
I agree.
Joey Janela seems to be the latest victim of the, he's just a bullshit deathmatch wrestler. He can't do nothing.
Yeah, and I think over the past year or two, he's showing that he isn't.
And I think that he knew that was the perception that people had of him. And I think that's why you're not seeing him do or accept deathmatch matches anymore. That's why I think at that Beyond Wrestling show that we talked about last week, they said that was his last death match.
Yeah.
And I think that has a lot to do with it. He's the latest victim of the Jim Cornette shit. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't say he's a victim. I'd say that...
Well, not a victim, but like
it works in his favor because he knows that he already has a following.
Yeah.
And he already knows that he has charisma and he has this air about him. No matter what he does, people are going to watch.
Yeah.
So why put yourself through all that pain when you can start getting in the ring with guys who will make you a better wrestler?
Well, that wasn't really what I was getting at with that. I was saying he's like... He knew that he had to make a change because of naysayers.
Oh.
Because of the Jim Cornettes of the world.
I don't think that's necessarily...
Who hate anything new or
I don't
different.
think anyone... I don't know if I agree with that.
Didn't Cornette go off on some sort of rant about him?
Probably. Fuck Cornette.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think that's why he changed. I think he changed because he knows the potential that his character has, and to go farther, he needs to distance himself from that type of stuff. But, I don't know.
Yeah.
The last guy to do that was Mick Foley, to actually get over with that kind of style. But he did. Whatever. So, we're going to go into NXT review. But before that, Evolve 109, I would also give a solid B-.
Yeah, I
think 108 was
108 was a little better.
Yeah, a tad bit better than 109. Yeah. So
I still like what I'm seeing out of Evolve though.
Oh, me too. And we're definitely going to cover 110 and 111.
Yeah, because that handicap I quit match is just such a unique thing.
Yeah,
I've never heard of.
It's like if Stokely Hathaway loses, then I think that he will end up being some type of manager in WWE. If Williams loses, I don't know what that means.
Right.
Maybe nobody loses and a lot of stuff happens. Maybe Tracy Williams ends up making a new group with Josh Briggs and Anthony Henry. I don't know. I have no idea, but I'm excited for it. I want to see it. So NXT this week started off with Amber Nova against Nikki Cross, one of my favorites. This was quite refreshing. As half the match, Nikki showcased more of her wrestling ability with arm drags and suplexes. Nikki is so committed to her character, it feels so special.
Right.
Nova hit a nice face buster into the turnbuckle with her legs and put some rest holds on Nikki for Nikki to really show off her great facial expressions. Nikki finally has enough and goes full Nikki Cross, bringing her nasty brawling style out. Nikki hit a huge crossbody, followed by the fisherman swinging neckbreaker for the win. I thought it was a great opening match, and I always love seeing Nikki Cross, man. What'd you think, bud?
That was a good one. I'm reading here on Bleacher Report. They have like analysis for everything. They say that they feel it's time for Nikki to move on and join SANADA main roster. I wholeheartedly disagree.
Well, you know what I think?
What?
They're either waiting to put the NXT title on her, the women's
I
title.
hope so.
Or she is from Scotland. The NXT UK might have a lot of men, but they do not have a lot of women.
Put her on NXT UK.
Possibly.
No.
That's what I'm thinking. Because
Yeah.
what else?
I'd like that.
Yeah. I mean, what else is... I don't know.
Yeah.
But she deserves better. She either deserves... I mean, I understand what they're saying. Like,
Yeah.
she deserves to be on the main roster or to have the title.
They say that she seems lost in the shuffle on NXT. And I don't know if I agree so much with that.
I don't agree with that either because her character and her commitment to her character prevent her from being lost in the shuffle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We get a Keith Lee vignette. I thought it was good. There was great production putting this indie beast on a bigger stage. Ricochet comes out for a match but is put down during the entrance by the Undisputed Era. Cole grabs the mic and says he's not a coward, even though this was a cowardly act, and accepts Ricochet's challenge at TakeOver Brooklyn 4. I will be looking forward to that match very much.
I'm looking forward to everything on TakeOver so far.
I agree. Next, we get an interview with Vanessa Bourne about her match with Tainara Conchi to qualify for the Mae Young Classic. She says a lot of buzzwords like the Vision and Immaculate. I didn't think this was bad at all. She seemed very confident talking. I'd like to see more of this out of Vanessa Bourne. Match 2 was Adrian Jaoud against Cassius Ohno. Jaoud showcases some capoeira moves before he waist lock takedowns Ohno and then a fireman's carry. Ohno hits a huge strike, a senton, and a huge boot. Jaoud hits a side suplex after much opposition with Ohno grounding his weight and hitting knees. Jaoud hits a big elbow. Ohno not down for a long time though and rams Jaoud with a big elbow and then the Dream Crusher for the win. Throughout the match, the commentary team talked about Ohno being frustrated and wanting more opportunities, and Regal said, you know, you have to start winning more, and he has been. Ohno needs wins, and Adrian Jaoud got to look good in defeat. Ohno should not be left behind. And when we get to our big question, I got some ideas. What do you think about this Adrian Jaoud?
He's not bad. He's not bad. I like the capoeira type stuff.
Yeah.
It's unique. It's not something you see a lot of in WWE or wrestling in general.
Eddie Gordo, man.
Yeah.
From
Yeah.
Tekken.
Cassius needs something.
Right. And I got an idea.
Desperately. I think I know what you're gonna say, but it's like he's too good to do what he's doing. He's not. He shouldn't be an enhancement guy.
Right.
He shouldn't.
And
be
they're
doing
starting to get
job
away from
matches.
that with all these wins.
Yeah.
You know? So, we'll see. We next get Experience the Dream segment. EC3 enters the Dream's pool area. Dream tells him to sit down, then asks him to take a walk, which I thought was odd.
Yeah.
Why would you even ask the guy to sit down if you're going to ask him to walk?
Do not question the Dream.
EC3 thinks thinks that Dream's gonna throw him into the pool, but Dream says he wouldn't. He's the top 1% and deserves better. EC3 says he came here to fight, but wants it at TakeOver. Dream is upset and says you disrespect him at his own facilities. Dream drops his shades. EC3 goes to pick them up. Dream tries to ambush him, but EC3 fireman carries Dream into the pool. Dream acts like he's trying to stop himself from drowning, and EC3 says, dude, it's like 3 feet deep. This segment was okay, but could have been much better.
Yeah.
Some banter at the beginning explaining why EC3 is there after Dream asked him to sit down would have made it better. I found it weird that the Dream asked him to sit, then asked him for a walk, a very short walk at that. The walk should have been to a garden or something, or start in a garden and end at the pool. The end was funny, and I look forward to what these two can do together, but this vignette fell a little short for me.
That's fair. No.
Match 3 was Marcel Bartel against Keith Lee. I love that Marcel, a.k.a. Axel Dieter Jr., came out to the Ring Conf theme. It's his first TV appearance as well as Keith Lee's. The crowd popped hard for Keith, whose instrumental was whack as fuck. He needs better music, especially because he had awesome music on the indies.
Yeah, people were saying that, like, he raps his own theme song
on the indies, yeah.
So how could that possibly be copyright issues?
I don't know. I don't know if this music was just a one-time thing. I hope it is.
Could have been.
This was crap.
I did watch this one. It seems like it's probably placeholder music.
Yeah.
I hope so.
We got the O Bask in his glory chants. There was Marcel Bartel hit a double thrust to Keith Lee's throat, which was cool. We got the drop down leapfrog and big drop kick from the massive Keith Lee. Huge step up insecurity as Bartel screams 9. Bartel puts Lee horizontally tied in the ropes, which I've never seen before really, and started kicking him mercilessly and then hit a drop kick on Keith Lee. Keith Lee shifted the momentum with a headbutt and a double-handed chop. Lee misses a big splash but makes up for it with a big pounce. He hits the ground zero, aka fireman's carry, to jackhammer and gets the win. Both of these guys look great. Lee showed his athleticism and strength, and Bartel showed off his European-style in-ring innovation and quite some character. Very good stuff. After this, we got a Street Profits promo. It's hilarious and charismatic as usual. They were talking smack on their opponents next week, the Mighty. Only downside was the music being a bit too loud while they spoke. Match 4 was the NYC qualifier between Tainara Conchi and Vanessa Bourne. Both women were very aggressive and vocal throughout. Conchi wins with a crucifix turned into a power slam. They really made the match feel like a desperation position. Good job on both of them. Well, next week we're getting Kairi Sane versus Aaliyah and Tyler Bate versus Roderick Strong, along with the Mighty versus the Street Profits. We see Cain Velasquez, as we talked about in our news segment a few weeks ago. He's shown in the NXT audience. It's main event time with Aleister Black against Johnny Gargano. Ronaldo starts the commentary with an awesome quote of Friedrich Nietzsche, saying, "Those who fight monsters should see that they do not become one in the process, and if you stare into the abyss long enough, the abyss stares into you." He said that in reference to Gargano's obsession with Ciampa. Black countered the slingshot spear with a knee. Black ducked the rolling kick from the ground and kneed Gargano again. Both crash into each other with double clotheslines. This match doesn't go far because Ciampa runs down and throws Gargano out and attacks Black. Gargano gets back in and stops Ciampa. Black kicks both of them in the head. Ciampa tries to leave, but Gargano hits a cannonball off the apron. Black pummels Gargano in the ring. Multiple refs come down to separate them. Regal comes out and says he's had enough. He doesn't want to get in the way of them, but they're going to do it properly and have the first ever triple threat NXT title match at TakeOver Brooklyn 4. I thought this was really good. Black had Gargano's number, mostly kicking ferociously after Gargano cost him the title last week or 2 weeks ago. Pure heel Ciampa is of course DQs the match. One of the three great GMs who all are from the UK, William Regal always delivers. This was a great episode. shortly after the episode, on WWE.com, it was shown that Aleister Black was found unconscious in the Full Sail parking lot. Gargano was there, and Undisputed Era as kind of indicating these guys might have something to do with it. So Black is not expected to be cleared in time for TakeOver. He'll be written off this way. He had a groin injury apparently, but I feel really bad for Aleister Black, as his title matches were always second to Gargano and Ciampa. And I kind of felt bad that he was in this triple threat because it was unlikely that he would be the one walking away with the title.
Exactly.
But with Black getting time off from NXT, let Gargano and Ciampa have their spotlight. When Black comes back, he could take back the spotlight that was never given to him.
I agree.
This is a great episode of NXT television.
TakeOver's gonna be damn good.
Real fucking good. That leads us to the end. The big question. The big question this week came from our friend, the NerdyMark, Sid. He asked us, who should Keith Lee's first major feud be with? John, I want you to go first.
Okay, now you sent me this question, and I responded with the first line of a promo that I thought about, where I said, quote unquote, Keith Lee, you come out here and you tell everyone to bask in your glory? Well, frankly, the Dream doesn't see any glory to bask in. I love Velveteen Dream being the one that goes after all the new guys. I love that he's in that spot. But he'd have to finish the thing with EC3 first. Keith Lee's already there. So,
yeah,
I don't know if I want to make them wait so long to give Keith a feud. So the other one I thought about was take a guy we haven't seen since TakeOver, someone that matches the stature, Lars Sullivan.
Nice.
Lars Sullivan and Keith Lee could be a good feud.
I think you build to that.
Yeah.
But my idea for Keith Lee in NXT harkens back to his indie run. So Cassius Ohno, before coming back to NXT, his last match in Evolve was against Keith Lee.
Yes.
He put him over, but said Keith Lee didn't have the killer instinct. So Evolve took that and ran with it until Keith Lee got the killer instinct. I think it would be great. Cassius Ohno wants an opportunity. He starts stacking up victories. Meanwhile, Keith Lee, who already got a major pop on his debut, starts beating guys like Raul Mendoza, Sean Maluda, guys like that. And Ohno goes into Regal's office, says, all right, I've done all of this. Where's the opportunity? Lee comes in, says damn near the same thing. Regal says, there's your opportunity. Whoever wins out of the both of you gets a shot at the North American title. So you have this fantastic match, headline an NXT show. Give him a proper amount of time. Have Lee take Ohno to his limit, and have Lee win. Now, the next week, when Lee's about to have the North American title match, Ohno comes out, asks for a rematch. Lee says, okay, I'll give it to you so you can bask in my glory. one more time. So, as the match happens, Lee's starting to get the upper hand, and out comes Chris Dijak, as we knew him as Donovan Dijak. Now, Donovan Dijak and Keith Lee had amazing matches all over the indie scene.
What the hell are they calling him now? Chris Dijakovic or something like that?
Oh, I thought it was just Chris Dijak.
No, they gave him a new name again.
What?
They gave him a new name again.
All right, well, whatever his name is, Donovan Dijak comes down, interferes, and Ono and Dijak put the boots to Lee, and Lee says, put the North American title on hold. I want to take care of this. He ends up putting Ono out and having a feud with Dijak, who Dijak and Ono are kind of like the new kings of wrestling. But Ono ends up getting kayfabe injured from Lee. You have the Dijak, the Ono Lee feud turn into Lee versus Dijak, and whoever wins wins that feud goes on to face whoever holds the North American title. That's how I would book Keith Lee's first few feuds.
I love that. Yeah, the name that they're putting him by is Dominik Dijakovic.
Why?
I don't know.
Do you know how hard that is to say?
Yeah, very.
Are they trying to bury him before he even gets anywhere?
Who the hell knows?
Donovan Dijakovic?
Dominik Dijakovic.
Dominik Dijakovic.
Yeah.
Dijakovic.
Dijakovic.
My fuck. Well,
have you heard Gunner's new name yet?
Who?
Gunner.
No.
Jackson Riker.
That makes more sense
That's
than
a better name.
Dijakovic.
Dijakovic.
I'm gonna have to say this shit like 800 times to remember it.
Yeah.
That is terrible. I hope he gets to the main roster quick so they could just call him Donovan.
Yeah.
You know, like Neville and Cesaro. We're going to take part of your name out. But anyway, pretty good episode this week, huh, John?
Yeah.
What's our running time here?
1 hour 36.
Woo! We covered some ground, didn't we?
We did.
Good conversations, good friends, and good pro wrestling. As always, you will find our social media links in the info on the video, as well as our weekly match recommendations from every wrestling episodic show of the week. John, any last words?
Next week, G1 Finals, going over that stuff.
Predictions and preview for SummerSlam and Takeover, and
coming up
probably have Evolve 110 and 111 stuff.
Yeah, coming up on the social medias, we're gonna have some graphics coming out for. We have some live shows coming up for some big pay-per-view events. Yeah,
we're going to go live on YouTube for first SummerSlam, then All In September, and September 1st, and then Bound for Glory in October. We're going to go live for all three of those on our YouTube. More information will be posted throughout.
There we go.
To that, wherever you are in the world, whether it is morning, noon, or night, you have a great one, and peace and love to all of you.